Alright, so welcome back guys to another Clash Royale video of course, and today taking a look at my favorite top 3 decks. And before we click on the video, this is going to be opinion based, not really statistically based, so before you go ahead and watch the video, just keep that in mind. So first up, my third favorite deck in the game at the moment right now is of course going to be the double P.E.K.K.A and Prince deck. Alright, so the reason why I like this deck so much is just because my P.E.K.K.A right now is level 4, which is like one of my highest level cards, and also I just got my goblins level 10 and they do crazy damage per second. And not to mention, with the double princes in this deck, you can get some quick tower takedowns if you do play aggressive at moments. Alright, so now let's hop into some gameplay and let's see how this deck does perform. So first up, going to be facing just some guy who's also level 9. We're going to go ahead and let our elixir, of course, build up to 10. Once that does happen, I'm going to go ahead and place down my elixir pump. And our friend is going to put down his Inferno Tower. So the good thing about our elixir pump in this situation is that while we're waiting for our elixir to build up to 10, his Inferno Tower, of course, will just slowly die out. So next up, we're going to put down our P.E.K.K.A. He's going to go for his Hog Rider push. I'm going to put down my goblins. And right here, he could have zapped down my goblins down, but instead he just decides to do nothing, so I think that was a bad play on his part. And now that our elixir is almost up to 10, I'm going to go ahead and follow up my P.E.K.K.A with, of course, the Dark Prince and the Prince. So let's go ahead and go for, I actually go for a counter push. I go for the opposite side of the map. Right before his Inferno Tower does go, which is really good, we're going to go ahead, he's going to zap our 2 princes. Not much is going to happen from that. One of our princes are going to go to his tower directly, which is good. A little bit of damage is going to happen. And now we still have our leftover P.E.K.K.A and a Ice Wizard. Now, of course, his Ice Wizard is doing some good work, making sure that my P.E.K.K.A does not get to his tower. So that was kind of a bad part right there of the game. And the only reason why I do like this deck a lot is just because the P.E.K.K.A can be really useful for those big pushes at times. But as you can tell, this guy's deck does, of course, counter my P.E.K.K.A a lot. So we're going to go ahead and put down, of course, another elixir pump. He's going to go for his Hog Rider push once again. But this time, instead of putting down my goblins, I put down my P.E.K.K.A. And this was perfect play because he was expecting my goblins, and that's why I did put down the poison spell. So of course, the Hog Rider is going to go down. And now we're going to follow up our P.E.K.K.A, I think, with the princes. Yeah, that's a smart decision. Instead, I go for my Ice Wizard instead of my Dark Prince. And that was kind of a bad play right there because now his Inferno Tower is going to take down my P.E.K.K.A, but just in time, it's going to go out before that happens. And now we have a really good play right here. We put in our goblins while everything gets distracted on our P.E.K.K.A, and our goblins will just take down the tower for free, and we will get a nice 1 tower win. Alright, so now we're just going to let our elixir build back up to 10, but because it is double elixir, we're going to play quite aggressive. We're going to slam down some more cards. He's going to try to poison my stuff down, but that's not going to take down my cards in time before they do reach his tower, so it's looking really good for us. He has nothing right here to take out my troops except for his Valkyrie. My troops are now in low health because of that poison spell over time, and yep, they will go down. And right here, I was pushing for this recon win, but it just wasn't happening. This guy was playing really good distractively with those skeletons from the skeleton spawner. And now I kind of play a little bit too aggressive. I forget about my tower at the bottom right, and this allows him to take it out with a Hog Rider. But then I go for the counter push with, of course, our Dark Prince, and his tower should now go down. And 8 seconds left. It looks like we are going to win this one. Yep, there we go, because of our leftover Dark Prince. And yep, as you can see, I'm very happy about that with emojis. So my next favorite deck, number 2, is of course going to be a Sparky deck. Now I got the Sparky like 2 weeks ago. He's been doing really good damage to those giant cards that I've always been facing. And now let's hop into some gameplay and let's see why this deck is really good. Alright, so here we go. Facing a level 10 player, I believe. And as you can see in our cards below, we are using the Sparky deck, of course, with a giant. And some of you guys do prefer to use a Royale giant over the regular giant, but I find that the regular giant for the Sparky deck is just a lot more cost effective and has more health actually than the Royale giant. So me and him are both going to place on our big tanky cards at the back of the map. Instead of like countering his play, I just go for a counter push and place on my Sparky on my side of my push. He's going to decide to counter my push instead of like proceeding to put troops behind his Royale giant. We're going to clean that up, of course, with our minions, but he is going to take our minions down with a zap card and his other minions. So also back up my push with the wizard. That's going to clear up his goblins. And now we're going to have a little bit of a good push into his tower. We're going to lose our tower, but unlike his push, once we do take out his tower, our troops will still be allowed to proceed to his crown tower. His Valkyrie is going to take out my wizard, unfortunately. Okay, so now our Sparky just going in alone. He's going to distract it with his Ice Wizard, and that means that our Sparky won't get shot into his tower, or nope, it actually gets one shot, so that's pretty good stuff right there. So now we gotta play a little bit more slowly because we got the lead, or we don't have the lead, but we do have more damage on his crown tower. So I'm gonna go ahead and put down my elixir pump, of course. And just telling you right now, all three of these decks do have the elixir pump, so if you don't have the elixir pump at all, I do recommend switching that card out for something like a defense, just because a defensive card would be nice sometimes, because I play the elixir pump sometimes as a tank shield or something like that. So he's gonna try to push us with his miner. We're gonna take that out, no problem. And as you can tell, I'm very happy sending this guy pretty aggressive emojis, trying to get his reaction or something like that. So we're gonna go for another push once again. Instead of going for his second tower, I actually go for his crown tower again. He's gonna put down his goblins, thinking that their 2 elixir was worth the little bit of damage that he got my tower. But I don't really see the benefit in doing that. I find that a little bit too wasteful of elixir. So double elixir has occurred. We have like 2 stacked out units on the field, and we also have a full, or almost a full elixir ball, so we're going to put down some more troops. He's going to try to ambush our Sparking Wizard with his miner, but that's not going to happen with our goblins, of course, right there. He's going to go for his Valkyrie, you place it on his Valkyrie, but that's going to get diminished by my Sparky. Now we have a clear passage for our 2 Sparkies just to take down the tower. And as you can tell, just a very epic win right there. 2 earthquake effects, or whatever you call it, into his tower. So that's another good game. And finally, here's my favorite deck at the moment. As you can see, a very low cost elixir average of 3.1, which is super cheap. Normally I don't play with these cheaper decks, but this one has just been working out for me a lot. I can counter things, and I can, like, because elixir cost is so low, I can just play a lot according to skill. Like, I don't know. It's weird to say it. It's like the more elixir cost a deck has, the less things you can do to counter somebody. Anyways, though, facing Cyber Pix, I believe that's his name. We're going to put down our archers at the very beginning so that we don't max out at 10 elixir, of course. He's going to put down his elixir pump. And surprisingly enough, I actually lied back there. This deck does not have the elixir pump. It instead has a Tesla tower. But of course, you can switch those 2 out if you do want to. So we go for an early push. He thinks that his princess is going to take out my troops in time before they do take down his tower. But that didn't happen. We're going to take away with a nice 1 crown win. And as you can see, Cyberpix has a very different deck. He's using the Lava Hound, which is a card I haven't really been seeing that often. But this guy is a pretty high level. He has like a level 2 or level 3 princess, I believe. And his Lava Hound is also level 2, so we gotta be careful with his cards. So he's gonna be going for his first push. Unfortunately, in this deck, the only defensive card is the Tesla Tower. Not much else in this deck can do that well at taking down high health cards quickly. So we put down our goblins here and take down that giant as quickly as possible. A weird thing about this guy's push is that none of those cards actually focus on troops. So if you have something like barbarians or like minions, his push will go down pretty quickly. So we try to counter it with our spirit goblins. That's not gonna happen. But meanwhile, we also go for the counter push with our Valkyrie and our archers, I believe, but that took down a second tower to a little bit low health. He's going for the counter push with his witch. It's coming up. We're going to deal with it with, of course, our Valkyrie. His miner is going to be smacking our tower, but of course, he does have reduced tower damage, so we don't have to worry about that card too much. Alright, so his witch card should go down right now. Let's go ahead and back up our Valkyrie with the Hog Rider and the Goblins. Hopefully we can save her before she does go down, as she's on very low health. So he's going to try to counter, of course, with his Princess. That's going to take out my Valkyrie after 2 shots. We're going to zap his Princess right before his tower was about to go down, which meant that his tower, of course, was going to go down. So he has 2 Princesses right here. Once they're locked on, I'm going to try to take them out with our archers. So yep, they're going to go down. And that was just a very cost elixir trade right there. So to deal with this upcoming push right here, we actually don't deal with it at all because I know this deck doesn't counter high health troops that often. So instead I go for the counter push. He's going to try to defend with his miner. That's going to do okay damage. But guys, we have a bunch of goblins locked onto his tower with a couple of archers. And as you can see, the tower's health is going down so quickly. And he forgot to focus any elixir on my push. And therefore, we just took his tower. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you do want to see any other types of decks, of course, or card spotlights, just comment that down below. And by the way, I had a blast making that card spotlight video. It took a lot longer than the usual video, but I'm pretty sure you guys enjoyed it more than the normal video. So yeah, if you think that I missed any other type of decks that could have been in this video, then just comment that down below. And until next one, I'll just see you guys later.